Well, it does work, but I'll give you context as well.
Well, you just said it doesn't work.
I'll give you
contradicted
context.
yourself, so educate me. I don't know enough, but you just contradicted yourself. You went from it doesn't work to it does work, so please.
I'll give you context as well. So what they did is they did have a program called the Black Empowerment Economic Program. And pretty much what they did is for every corporation, they would have to incorporate Black people within it. But that's not worked really well. And what we've seen over time is that a lot of Black people that have been part of those organizations haven't been a minority. So pretty much, as you mentioned, you talked about DEI. So it's just pretty much checking a box, right? You have a Black person within the senior management group, but it's only probably 2 people and the like, and that's pretty much it. But the majority of Black South Africans that do not own any land, because obviously the historic context that I gave, cannot pretty much be able to earn a good living, because, with land also comes economic opportunity, and that's been the biggest disparity in South Africa.
And excuse my ignorance on this, I want to understand though, is that the land owned by Black South Africans is actually not as productive as those owned by the Boers. Is that correct?
Well, at the minute, 72% of private land, agricultural land, is owned by white South Africa.
No, I understand
it's only
that,
a minority.
Fair enough, but the 28% when compared to Boer-run farms are actually not as productive, because running a farm in South Africa is very difficult.
Yes.
Am I correct by saying that?
Well, context again.
Well, I just want to make sure I'm clear that actually running a farm for over 100 years is actually really impressive.
100%.
Yeah, so we agree on that.
Yes, we agree on that.
So thank you, because I don't know enough about this, but I do think that that's important to note, that even the Black South Africans that own land, it actually is not as fruitful or has the same yields as those that have been doing it for over 100 years, in a time when there's actually food instability in the region and in South Africa.
But obviously, what I would say is, over time, if, say, you did have an act that expropriates land from Black South Africans, you need to build capacity over time. And I think the government is doing that for the minority of Black people that own agricultural farmland in South Africa, and they've been doing that. But also, we can't deny the fact that if you control supply chains for over a century, right, then it means that you pretty much control the economy, right? So how best do you think, obviously the land was taken from Black people, and white South Africa has been pretty much, improving the economic outcomes over time. What do you think is the best way to break even in that sense?